welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rines, and let's get into this episode. This episode is going to be The Lone Ranger. Original air date is March 5th, 1947, and the title is Tombstone Newton. Thanks for listening, and let's get into it.
Silver! A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of a great horse, Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
One Silver! Let's go, big fellow! I'm Silver! Hooray!
The Lone Ranger was alone in his camp on the outskirts of the town of Greenville. It was morning, and the ranger was currying his great horse Silver, whose white coat shone in the sun like burnished metal.
Hey, boy.
The masked man chuckled as Silver arched his beautiful neck and swished his tail.
Feeling kind of frisky this morning, aren't you, boy? Hey there. Stand still, old fella. I have to put on the finishing touches. Yeah, what's wrong? Oh, it's Tonto. He's back early.
Oh, Scout. Oh, fella. Oh, fella. Oh, Scout. Oh, fella.
Well, Tonto, you got back sooner than I thought you would. Was there a telegram from Dan?
Here, Kimasabi.
Let's take a look at it. Should be starting back soon. Second, I'll take it. Oh, he's taking the stage from Deekville in 2 days.
People in town say bandits hold up stage again last week. You think him safe?
Another hold-up? Maybe we'd better ride to meet that stage, Tonto.
Well, we get more than halfway there in 2 days.
I wonder if all these hold-ups are done by the same outlaws.
Sheriff say yes. Them plenty smart. Leave no trail to follow.
All right. We'll leave today. I'll feel safer about Dan if we get him off that stage. Oh, is there any more news?
Me hear fella say Tombstone Newton own ranch near Deekville.
Tombstone Newton, the sharpshooter? So he finally gave up show business. I hope Dan had a chance to meet him. I've always wanted to.
Tombstone Newton's huge frame sprawled in a big chair in the living room of his small ranch house. The late afternoon sun poured through the windows and open door, giving Tombstone the light he needed for the job he had started on the thick, smooth wall opposite him. He was completing the picture of a woman's face that he had drawn with bullets from the 245s that he held with the hands of an expert.
Well, now there's the ear. Now let's see. By golly, I clean forgot her left eyebrow. There, that does it. Don't look much like Maggie, but it's a darn good job.
Don't worry, Mrs. Appleby. That's just Tombstone. He's always practicing with his gun.
Oh, there's Maggie now.
Thanks ever so much for bringing me home. I sure enjoyed myself.
I'll see you next week, Miss Newton. Goodbye. Get out there, Nettie.
Goodbye, Mrs. Appleby.
Hey, Maggie, stop just a minute. Hold still.
Why, the very idea. Tombstone, you mean old son of Satan. That's the nastiest trick you ever did.
Why, Maggie, what's wrong? You ain't never been mad before when I shot at you. Why, I've been shooting at you for 18 years.
I ain't mad at you for shooting at me, but shooting the rose off my bonnet is something else. Where'll I get another?
Oh, now, honey bunch, Now, the way it was bobbing around, I just couldn't help it.
Tombstone, our nice new wallpaper. Look what you done.
Oh, now, Maggie, I just got kind of lonesome for you and drawed your picture. It's good, don't you think?
Well, I gotta admit you can still shoot as good as ever. The mouth's a little crooked.
Oh, I done that a purpose. Because you smile kind of crooked. Oh, wait. Another bullet will fix it better.
Yeah, that's lots better.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Tombstone, if you aren't the...
You're still my old partner, honey. You know, for a minute I got worried that you was getting to be a nagging wife on account of us settling down.
Well, I'll admit I like settling down. Having a home, being part of a community.
Them women at the sewing circle, was they nice to you?
I had a fine time.
Oh.
Mrs. Wilkins was there from the Wilkin Ranch, about 15 miles out of town. She asked me to spend a few days with her sometime when you're away. She's got a sewing machine, and we're going to make dresses together.
Oh, well, honey, you sure made friends in a hurry.
Somebody's coming, Tombstone.
Yeah. Oh, it's Bob Flagstaff. He owns a stage line. Come on in, Bob.
Hello there, Tombstone.
Hi.
Hello, Mrs. Newton.
Hello, Mr. Flagstaff.
Hey, come in and sit down, Bob.
Thanks. You can just stay a minute. Hey, got a favor to ask of you, Tombstone.
A favor? Why, sure. Anything I can do.
You folks are kind of new around here, but everybody knows about you, Tombstone. How you can shoot, I mean.
Oh.
Tombstone's the best shot in the West.
Now.
Yeah, he gave us a few samples at the Pretzel Bell Cafe the other night. I suppose you've heard about the holdups we've had on my stage line.
We sure have.
Well, I'm worried about a load of gold that goes out of here day after tomorrow. That gets stolen. A lot of people in town will lose money. I wondered if you'd take the job of guarding it for me.
Why, sure I will. And if them outlaws are fool enough to try and hold us up, I'll guarantee to bring 'em back with bullet holes between their eyes.
Well, that's a big relief to me. The stage leaves Deatville day after tomorrow.
Oh?
I don't like having him go.
Well, you can go over and stay at that lady's house, Maggie, the one with the sewing machine.
She wanted me to go with her tomorrow. She's staying in town tonight. But I told her I'd go some other time.
We'll go into town tonight and tell her.
Then it's settled. You'll do it.
I'll be glad to, Bob.
Well, thanks a lot, Tombstone. I'll see that the news is spread all over that you're going to guard the stage. That ought to scare anybody out of the idea of robbing it.
Well, I sure hope it scares them.
In a blind canyon about 10 miles out of town, 3 men sat around a campfire. Blackjack Kelly, a big man with a hard, cruel face, poked the burning logs viciously.
It's way past time for Mac Woodruff to be here. Gotta have that information that the stage is pulling out tomorrow.
Mac has to be careful. The sheriff is probably watching him like a hawk.
Remember, he was driving the stage when we held it up the last time. Some of the passengers complained that he didn't put up too much resistance.
Don't worry. Mac will get here.
Now, listen. That's him now.
Ho there! Ho! That you, Mac? Yeah, who do you think it is? Buffalo Bill? It's about time you're getting here. Now, listen. I had trouble getting out of town. Them hombres had even a faint idea I was part of this setup that'd hang me to the nearest cottonwood.
Well, Flagstad sure ain't suspicious, or he'd never let you drive that stage tomorrow.
Is everything set to go? It's set all right. Providing you three want to start fertilizing prairie grass.
What are you talking about?
Flagstad hired a new guard to go along on the stage with me tomorrow. What of it? We ain't afraid of a guard. Well, this ain't an ordinary guard. It's Tombstone Newton.
Tombstone Newton?
The sharpshooter?
Where'd he get him? Tombstone just bought a small ranch near town. Seems like he's taken on this job as a favor to the town people. Well, there's three of us and only one of him. I'll sure be glad he's shooting at you and not me. Why, he's the fastest and deadliest shot I ever seen.
I never seen him, but I sure heard plenty about him. He's on that stage. You can count me out.
Not turning yellow, are you, Hubbard?
Well, Hubbard's right. Maybe he'd only get two of us before we got him. But them two would be very, very dead.
You mean you want to call off the holdup just on account of this fellow Tombstone? I think maybe Flagstad had that idea himself when he hired him. What does Tombstone look like? He's a big fella. About the size of Jake here. Got a mustache like Jake's, except a little darker. Uh-huh. Size of Jake and a mustache like his. Yeah. We could substitute Jake for him on the stage. We could frame Tombstone.
Hey, I don't want no part of that, hombre. It's too...
Now, wait a minute, Jake. Maybe Black Jake's got something.
Huh?
Tombstone asked me today if the stage went past the Wilkins Ranch. What's that got to do with it? Well, Tombstone's wife went there yesterday with Mrs. Wilkins. Stayed for a week while he's gone. Now, he's crazy about that wife of his. Even though they've been married for 20 years. And you say he's dangerous. That's his one soft spot. Now, he wants to stop and say hello to her on the way tomorrow. I told him the Wilkins Ranch was on the trail we take.
But we can't do anything at the Wilkins Ranch. The place is full of people.
But Tombstone don't know where it is. I could stop someplace else, couldn't I? Yeah. That cabin about 3 miles past the Wilkins Ranch. The empty one. That's where we'll get Tombstone. Get up! Get up there!
I guess you think I'm kind of a sissy, don't you, Mag? Wanting to stop and see Maggie when she's just been away for 2 days.
Why, of course not, Tombstone. Don't stay too long, though. Passengers might not like to be delayed.
I'll just stay a minute. I just want to surprise you.
Well, here's the place. Just ahead a piece.
Say, that's just a little house. I thought the Wilkins Ranch was a big place.
John Wilkins is building a bigger one back over the hills. They're living here temporarily. Ho there, ho! Ho, steady there. Ho, ho, easy there. Ho up there.
I'll just be a minute.
Now, you hurry up, Tombstone. Easy there, fella. Get over. Ho.
Say, I wonder if I could see Mag.
Grab his hat, Jake. Here. Wear his bandana. Better change jackets with him, too. Now get him tied up and get his guns.
Keep your head down, Jake, till you get up on top of the stage so the passengers can't see you.
I will.
Tell Mac to take it easy. Give us time to get cross country to Indian Gulch.
Right.
There. I'm ready. Do I look enough like him?
Enough to get by. Now go ahead. You know what to do.
He's coming, too.
That's all right. He ain't got a gun. Now get his hands tied. You tie his feet.
Jake made it all right. We better put Tombstone on that cot.
He's too heavy. Let him lie on the floor. I'll leave his guns on this table.
You ain't going to leave his guns here, are you?
Sure I am. One of us will come back and turn him loose tomorrow. When the posse catches him, I want him to have his guns on him.
Where am I?
You just lie quiet and don't give us trouble. We're leaving you here. Some will be back tomorrow to cut you loose.
Why, you pack of yellow rats, I'm all tied up.
Gag 'em, Hubbard. You'll have to do plenty of talking later, Tombstone. You better save it.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. 3 passengers rode inside the lumbering stage as it neared Indian Gulch. Mr. Alcott, the banker, his wife, and Dan Reed, nephew of the Lone Ranger.
Oh, it's certainly a comfort to know this stage is carrying Tombstone Newton's guard. Don't you feel a lot more secure, Dudley?
I certainly do, Grace. Are you going to the end of the line, son?
Not quite. I'm meeting some friends of mine.
Dudley, look. Those men on horseback with bandanas over their faces.
It looks like a holdup.
Oh.
Stop the stage and stick up your hands! Stop us, then!
But where's the guard? Why doesn't he shoot?
I've got you all covered in there. Just sit quietly and nothing will happen to you.
We won't give you any trouble.
All right, Tombstone, bring down the gold. We got your horse waiting for you.
Tombstone? Why, he must be... He's part of the band of outlaws.
Surprised, ain't you? And you thought Tombstone was going to protect you.
Why, that dirty double-crosser. He's been the leader of these outlaws all the time. Look, he's taking the gold.
All right, driver. Get going and keep going.
Get up! Get up there!
We'll get Tombstone for this. As soon as we reach a town with a telegraph station, I'll notify the sheriff in Deekville to get a posse out after Tombstone Newton.
Dan Reed got off the stage when he saw Tonto on the trail leading his horse Victor. As the stage rumbled away, they were joined by the Lone Ranger, who was waiting behind some rocks. It was many miles back to Indian Gulch, but on the way, Dan told the masked man what he knew.
Did you know Tombstone Newton, sir?
No, I've never met him, Dan. I've heard about him. He's always had a reputation for honesty.
If posse catch him, them lynch him, maybe.
Here's Indian Gulch. Who's over?
Easy, boy. Golly, I just thought of something.
What, Dan?
You remember that little deserted cabin where we stopped to get water? The one near the Wilkins Range? We stopped there about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Tombstone went in there for a minute before the holdup. I hadn't thought of it till now.
Kemosabe.
Yes?
Maybe that hideout.
There's nothing in that cabin. I don't see why he'd stop there.
He didn't stay in there very long.
Tonto, you and Dan see if you can pick up the trail of the outlaws from here.
This place all rock. Maybe we can't find trail.
Well, try it anyway. I'll ride ahead to that deserted cabin. I'll wait for you and Dan there. On, Silver. Oh, Silver, boy. Whoa, steady, big fella. Easy. Nobody here. Well, hiding gagged. Wait, I'll take that gag out. There. Now you can talk.
So, you yellow skunks, you come back sooner than you said you would. What are you going to do with me?
I'm afraid I'm not the man you expected.
You untie just one hand and I'll fight you with it. Was you the one that hit me on the head?
No. And, by the way, who are you?
You know darn well who I am. The driver of that stage is part of your gang, too.
The driver of the stage?
Why'd he tell me this was the Wilkins Ranch and make me think I'd find Maggie here?
Are you Tombstone Newton?
You know I am. That's why you ain't untying me. What do you aim to do with me?
First of all, I'm going to try to convince you that I'm trying to help you.
Now, listen, no masked man is going to convince me of anything.
Oh?
Not when you probably held up the stage after getting me off of it. Now I'll be the laughing stock of the town, and Maggie and me won't be able to live here anymore.
It's a lot more serious than that, Tombstone.
Nothing could be more serious than that.
There'll be a posse looking for you tomorrow. You'll be blamed for the robbery.
What?
They must have put someone who looked like you on the stage in your place. That man went off with the gold after the holdup. The passenger saw that happen.
So that's how you're working it. You want me to run away so the sheriff will think I'm the guilty one, huh? Well, I won't do it. I'll go straight to town.
Does this mean anything to you, Tombstone?
What is it?
Have a look.
A silver bullet?
Yes.
Well, I've heard of an hombre that shoots 'em, but he ain't an outlaw. Why, you double-crossing sidewinder. Now you're trying to pretend you're the Lone Ranger, huh? Well, you can't fool me. Nobody but that bunch of backstabbing yellow skunks knew I was here. And you're part of them, I know it.
Tombstone, how much of a gambler are you?
I ain't a gambler.
If I can prove that I can outshoot you, would you believe I was the Lone Ranger?
Now, listen, mister, I ain't bragging. But nobody can outshoot me.
Would you be willing to let me try? And if you lose, do anything I say?
And if you lose?
I lose? I'll go with you to the sheriff.
You mean you'll untie me and give me my guns?
You'll give me your word that you'll play square.
Listen, stranger, if you got nerve enough to do that, I gotta admit I'll have too much respect for you to try shooting you, even if you are an outlaw.
All right, I'll untie you. Your guns are here on the table.
You mean they left my guns here?
Yes. I'm beginning to see their plan now. If you went to town with your guns on, nobody would believe your story.
I still can't figure you out, masked man. Before them sidewinders left, they said someone would come back tomorrow and untie me. And you come along in a mask to do it. Now you want to have a shooting match. I can't figure what your game is.
There, you're free. Here are your guns. We'll go back in the canyon to shoot. We'll have to hurry. There's not much daylight left.
The two men stood side by side in the fading daylight. They faced the target, the end of a small tin can wedged between the rocks.
All right, Tombstone. You're first.
Well, here goes, right through the middle.
You did it.
Yep.
You hit it dead center.
Hey, do you want to put up another can?
Oh, that one will do.
Hey, you missed it.
I didn't miss it. Look at the rock behind it.
Well, I'll be a cross-eyed maverick. Why, your bullet went through the same hole.
Maybe I was just lucky.
Say, I'm beginning to wonder.
This time, let's try something hard.
As the sun sank lower, the contest went on. Tombstone tried every trick shot he knew, but the Lone Ranger matched every one until finally...
You did it! Jump on your horse, but you did it. Why, you beat me.
Tombstone, you're a hard man to beat.
Say, listen, masked man, you've got to be the Lone Ranger to shoot the way you've been shooting. You've convinced me. Hey, there's an Indian.
Hold it, Tombstone. He's a friend of mine. Did you find the trail, Tonto?
Them plenty clever. Them not leave trail. Dan waiting up at cabin. What we do?
Tombstone, are you willing to help us?
Well, what do you want me to do? Seeing as I lost, it's up to you.
Didn't you say someone was going to come back here to cut you loose tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, they did say that. I don't see why they'd bother to do it, though.
They want you to swing for the holdup. By tomorrow, the posse will be looking for you. If they found you, the hunt for the others would be delayed. You'd be blamed for it all. And you certainly wouldn't be guarding the stage anymore, in case they want to hold it up again.
I see, but what can we do?
Dan's watching the cabin. Nobody has come yet, or he'd have warned us. I want you to go back and let me tie you up the way you were.
Oh, no, that floor is plenty hard, and being tied up ain't any fun.
Tombstone, you lost that shooting match.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
Sometime tonight or early in the morning, someone will come to untie you. We'll be hiding and watching. When he leaves, you can ride Dan's horse and we'll follow him.
And we can find their hideout. Jump on Jupiter. Why, with you beside me shooting the way you can, we'll make them yellow polecats dance like spiders on a hot griddle.
Through the night, the Lone Ranger and Tonto took turns watching the cabin from their hiding place nearby. The dawn was brightening the eastern sky when Tonto quietly wakened the masked man.
Kimasabi.
Yes, Tonto?
Man coming horse. Him go into cabin.
Get the horses, Tonto. I'll watch to see which way he goes.
Me get it.
Blackjack and Hubbard were breaking camp when Jake rode into the hidden canyon. Blackjack went toward him eagerly.
Is everything all right, Jake?
Steady, boy.
Yeah, Tombstone was there just the way we left him. I untied him. I didn't have no trouble getting away. He was so stiff he couldn't move.
We better hurry.
Hey, my hat. Someone shot it off.
Put up your hands. Reach, I said.
They're up there on the canyon wall. I see them.
Oh, my hand! Did you hear the man say to reach? No. Get him up, all of you. I'll put a few scallops in your ears.
Out of my ear.
That's just to prove we can do it.
It's Tombstone.
And I got someone with me who can shoot better than I can. So if you want to shoot it out, we kind of enjoy doing it.
No, we won't shoot.
Look, here comes an Indian.
Take their guns, Tonto. Your men walk out of the canyon in front of him.
And if you try to get away, we'll shoot the bullets out of your teeth.
Tombstone, you said you wouldn't shoot in the house anymore.
Oh, now, I just fixed up your picture, Maggie. I knew there was something missing. It was that mole on your left cheek. Hey, did you do your shopping?
Yep. Oh, Tombstone, it's wonderful how the whole town is talking about you bringing all them outlaws in the way you did.
Well, now, I keep telling you, Maggie, I didn't do it alone.
I know it, but nobody knows the men who helped you. They rode away. There's even talk that you'll be the next mayor.
Mayor? Well, Maggie, that sure looks as if we're going to be a real part of this community, don't it?
Tombstone, I'll be so proud of you. Mayor of the town and the best shot in the world.
Well, it's only fitting that a wife should think her husband is best, but I sure hope you never meet a masked man on a white horse.
story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate our shows in your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. And send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com. You can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyright under the Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike copyright. For more information, go to OTRWesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.